In this week's episode, is Peloton about to announce the ability to stack classes?
And I got to interview community member Alex Quaas, Fertility Talk 007, and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, your unofficial resource for everything Peloton. By the community, for the community. Here are your hosts, Mark O'Rourke in the UK and Amanda Siegel in the US.
Welcome to episode 18 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show by the Peloton community for the Peloton community. I'm Amanda Siegel and I'm joined by my co-host Mark O'Rourke. Mark, are you there?
I'm here, Amanda. Yeah, great to join you on this episode, and I can see some balloons behind you. Maybe you can explain what they're all about.
I wonder why, Mark, right? Well, this week was an absolutely amazing week for me. I got to celebrate my Millennium Ride, my 1000th ride, Mark, and it was fantastic.
I was there.
I know you were, and so were so many in the community. You know what? We've said this time and time again, but when you get to these milestones, and yes, I know I'm a little extra, and for those of you that are consistent on this show, you hear me talk about my milestones and how quickly I get to them, but this was a big one.
It was.
And, for me, it was a huge, huge accomplishment. It just was, I said to folks that never in a million years would I have ever dreamed that I would be excited about exercising. And oh my goodness, my stomach was in knots. In getting ready and anticipating the ride. It was in the middle of the day for me, so I took a break from work and did a lunchtime ride, and it was amazing. It was amazing. I did Leanne's 90s ride, so the music was awesome, and it was just
her shout out, by the way, was the shout out she does for you are always great, but I think that was really really special. On your 1000.
Sparkles.
Yeah,
my
absolutely.
Sparkles.
She mentioned it, didn't she?
That was awesome. That was really awesome. And, you know what? It just gets me motivated to get back on and, continue riding and continuing to be part of this amazing Peloton community, as we all are. So thank you. Thank you for being part of that. And
huge congratulations.
Those of you, thank you. And for the community and those of you that listen to our show regularly or watch the show, I really appreciate all the support. My kids were pretty awesome, and they got to do this amazing balloons, and at the end of the ride they released one of these confetti bombs.
I saw that.
My gym.
It was amazing. I loved
3 days. It took me 3 days to clean it up, Mark.
I was just going to say.
You know what? I love that my kids embrace. I mean, they humor me, but I love that they embrace, the dedication that I have to Peloton and to my health and fitness, and it's been really cool. It's been really cool. Before we get started with the news, we like to remind you, as we do each week, how to keep up to date with all contents across all of our platforms. Every episode, as well as breaking news, and there have been a few of those, is released on our YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner and make sure that you hit notify so that you never miss an episode.
Yeah, and we're on loads of podcast platforms as well, Amanda, of course. We're on iTunes, we're on Google, we're on Spotify, and loads more. So, I always say, don't I, but I'll say it again. If you're driving from home, going to work or coming home from work or driving somewhere that you're going to be in the car for a long time, take a listen to our podcast.
And finally, Mark, we are on Facebook and Instagram. Just search for Pelo Buddy and follow us on these platforms for all of our latest news.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
Wow, Mark, it has been a very busy week in the Peloton world. Our top story today is for sure the potential launch of class stacking. It was reported by Reddit this past week that we could be seeing the potential of Peloton class stacking. This is the ability to string multiple classes together back to back in a row without having to browse the library in between. This will allow one to combine classes or workouts on Peloton for one long workout session and take as many classes back to back as you would like. With so many folks doing pyramid type rides of late, I know that this will be a very welcomed addition. But for those of you who are not sure how stacking can benefit you, it allows you the ability to do back to back to back rides without having to browse the library. For now, it seems like it will just be an option for on-demand classes, but who knows what they may change. Examples of class stacking is really being able to combine, for example, a warm-up ride to your main ride to your cooldown ride, and this will flow much smoother from one to the other, as opposed to having to go back to the library and pull the next class that you want to take. For those folks doing FTP tests, they'd be able to do the FTP warm-up and then go straight into the FTP test, and much, much more. Of course, we at Pelo Buddy will be sure to let you know as soon as it is officially launched. But Mark, with the good comes the bad. This week, we also discovered that Peloton has yet again done a significant class purge. Hundreds of workouts from their on-demand library have been quietly purged. It appears that more than 650 classes in the English language cycling category were removed, representing a little over 8% of these classes. On pelobuddy.com, we have a chart showing how many classes are available for each instructor. And on the chart, it does show how many were actually removed. For our Dennis Morton and Christine Durkle fans, those two instructors seem to be the most impacted. Each has over 100 rides having been removed. Jen Sherman and Hannah Corbett both have more than 50 rides removed, and Alex and Emma Jess King had about 40 purged. For Dennis, that equates to about 23% of his classes removed, and Christine about 20%. So why does Peloton remove rides, you ask? Well, there are a variety of reasons. Several of the large purges in the past have been due to music licensing issues. But as we know, that lawsuit was settled at the beginning of this year. So it seems unlikely all of these would be for music rights. Older classes have been removed in the past as the production quality isn't quite the same as it is today. Similarly, many old classes are missing target metrics, closed captions, as well as track listings. So Peloton could slowly be looking at purging them so that they have all the classes with the same features available on them. However, this purge included some classes from 2020, so not quite sure what the factor is that they're looking at and what is the reason that they're doing it. Peloton has stated previously that they remove classes for a variety of reasons and had apologized for the inconvenience that this may cause and the changes that they've made. We haven't yet quite heard anything, but I'm sure that a statement or social media post will occur. So while everybody's quite excited about the launch of class stacking, I know that there are going to be tons of disappointed folks, Mark, and not having some of the ride that they like to go back on and to do.
Yeah, I love the idea of the stacking. I think that's awesome. I think that's going to be very, very popular. But yeah, I mean, it's always controversial, the purging, isn't it? As you said, it happens from time to time. And it's always a little bit controversial. Always brings up some interesting replies on social media and so on. But yeah, I mean, I guess Peloton just move on, and I get it. I kind of get it why the old classes look a little bit dated. So yeah, I kind of get it. So, Amanda, two local Dallas publications, the Dallas Morning News and the Dallas Business Journal, are reporting this week that Peloton will be expanding their support center in Plano, Texas, which is part of their regional campus. Specifically, Peloton has a new lease for 90,000 to 100,000 square feet of office space by expanding to the legacy campus. In addition, this will expand their lease term from 2023 to 2029. Their old lease was for around 28,000 square feet of office space. Peloton's Plano, Texas office was the first support center, Amanda, that was not located in New York City, where Peloton, of course, is headquartered. As we know, Peloton is dealing with lots of unhappy new customers right now, as new products can take months to arrive. On top of that, there are many reports of unhappy customers who are waiting months for a delivery, only to have their delivery date arrive and then have their delivery cancelled. It can be so frustrating, and then bump to the back of the line for the next delivery date. On the most recent earnings call, Peloton CEO John Foley detailed 4 specific steps Peloton would be taking to try and provide a better experience for customers and cut down on the wait time. One of those 4 items was scaling their customer support team. The addition of the 100,000 new square feet of office space is really an important step in the process of growing that team. So, lots of changes going on within the infrastructure of Peloton, Amanda.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we know, we definitely know that that's needed, and space, available space, and trying to figure out their administrative side of things. They've got the rest down pat, but it's the administrative side of things in making sure that is all up to date is very important. So,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Definitely.
In other news, Amanda, Peloton this week had a surprise announcement that Tunde would be expanding her class schedule and begin teaching Bike Bootcamp classes. The reveal started with a class dropping straight to on demand. You can find the first Bike Bootcamp class on demand. Peloton also updated the upcoming class schedule to show her first live and encore Bike Bootcamp classes. Tunde shared her excitement about the addition of Bike Bootcamp by saying, "I'm so excited to join my teammates Robin and Jess and Cody as the newest Bike Bootcamp instructor. I've been patiently counting down the days to do this with you, and now it's finally here. Get ready to bring the same level of heat from the bike to the floor." She's a star, isn't she, Amanda?
She is a star, and I have to tell you, Mark, I think that she would be awesome on that platform. She's such a strong woman that I think that she would be an awesome addition to the
I agree.
To the bootcamp platform. So good luck to her. That's awesome. That really is awesome. Well, another exciting post on Friday from Peloton, Mark, was that they announced a new way to share our year in review. They have called it the Cooldown, and we will see it being launched in January 2021. At the start of every year, Peloton has sent out an email to its members recapping the previous year. It includes some global stats like number of workouts taken by the members, number of high fives given, and various other random tidbits. They also typically include the number of PRs achieved and number of milestones achieved, and the number of new members who join in the previous year. In addition, we were able to log into a special part of the Peloton website and see a personalized summary of our own stats for the year. Peloton seems to be getting quite ahead of the game now, and made the announcement early on in sharing this new rebranded name of the year in review. So, Mark, I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I do get excited each month when they send out our monthly review. So this will be fun to see, and to see how we've all achieved amazing stats in 2020.
Yeah, it is. It is great to look back, isn't it, and see how we've progressed. I know you've got an incredible story, Amanda, and so have I. I mean, over the last 2 years, I think we've taken huge steps, as have most of the members within Peloton. So yeah, it's great to look back at those figures and those statistics on how we improve week after week, month after month, year after year.
Mark, and it's true, because I don't think I ever take for granted how fortunate we are in being able to, as I said in our opener, in being excited to exercise. I mean, never in a million years would I have thought that would be something that would be appealing to me, is looking at my stats as to how much better I did and what my output looks like, and getting stronger. And I mean, I'm telling you, I think I've mentioned it on one of my shows where my husband's turned around and said, where's my wife, and what has somebody done with her? Because I'm on the bike like all of Sunday. And it's so it's amazing. So I love that they recognize that and want to be a part of our world in sharing what we do. So it's really exciting. I can't wait for that. I really can't wait for that.
Me too. Amanda, Peloton announced this week that they will be participating in the Barclays Global Technology, Media and Telecommunications Conference on Thursday, December the 10th, 2020 at 9:30 Eastern Time. Attending for Peloton will be Jill Woodworth, Chief Financial Officer. The audio portion of the presentation will be webcast live over the internet and can be accessed at investor.onepeloton.com. An online archive will be available for a period of 90 days following the presentation. So it might be worth taking a listening to, Amanda.
Yes, Mark. Well, we also saw this past week the announcement of the 2020 Christmas and holiday classes and workouts. Starting December 7th, members will be able to join live classes with a holiday theme, and it will span over almost every platform: cycling, running, tread, bootcamp, yoga, strength, etc. Nothing like getting us into the holiday spirit than adding these to our Peloton repertoire. You can head over to pelobuddy.com's website to see what has already been announced for this coming week. So it will start this coming week, and there are so many workouts that there's no way that I could announce all of them. But one that I do want to make special note of is Robin Arzon will be doing on Friday, December the 18th, a Together We Ride holiday ride. So I think that'll be really fun, and I wanted to highlight that because I think Robin puts so much effort into these, more specialized rides that she offers. So that's really going to be fun to do. The best part, Mark, for us our challenge junkies is that they've announced that they will have a new holiday activity challenge, but with a little bit of a twist. You can earn a gift for a certain number of workouts rather than the normal gold, silver, and bronze badge that we typically get. Now you'll be able to get a gift 1, gift 2, or gift 3 badge. So you know what? I think everybody needs this on their calendars for the month of December. We've had such a tough year, and there's no question the spike has brought everybody so much pleasure and joy. And you know what? To be able to bring in the holiday cheer and the holiday spirit. I've said it before, and I'll say it. For me, the holidays has always been something that I love. But being Jewish, I don't get to have my Christmas tree. And I'm definitely living vicariously through all of you guys and the amazing posts and looking at everybody's beautiful things. So
you know what, Amanda? I mean, like you, I love this time of year. And we finally got the Christmas decorations up in the O'Rourke household. So Mrs. O'Rourke got them all out. I took them all down from our loft, and they're all the lights are up outside, all the lights are up inside, and I really get excited at this time of year, and looking forward to doing some of these holiday rides that you mentioned. So it's going to be a lot of fun, isn't it? Peloton have announced more featured artist series workouts this past week, featuring Outcast in a series of classes, which you can now find on demand. The schedule for the Outcast classes included a ride with Dennis Morton, a full-strength class with Adrian Williams, and a yoga class with Chelsea Jackson Roberts, and finally a run with Andy Spear. Amanda, there's also a Nicki Minaj featured artist series coming up, with Ali Love hosting a ride on the 9th of December and Jess Sims hosting a strength class on the 11th of December.
Yeah, Mark, I didn't take any of the Outcast classes, but I'm sure that the Nicki Minaj ones are going to be kind of fun. So I'm looking forward to maybe jumping on 1 or 2 of those. There's just so much choice. There's so much material that they offer. It's almost impossible to get to do everything. This is why I had to quit my job.
Exactly.
I had to quit my full-time job so I could just spend all my time on the bike.
doing featured artist series. Yeah, there's so many of them, isn't there? I mean, I do catch some of them, but I do miss a lot of them. But hey ho, I'm sure we've got members who are doing them all, Amanda.
I'm telling you, you know that there are. You know that there are. No question.
For sure.
No question.
Now, talking of Jess Sims, as we just did, she's announced on her social media this week that she's so excited about her first Flash 15. She went on to explain the who. Anyone who has limited time in December but wants a great workout in a short amount of time, to the what, a full body workout with both cardio and strength that will also fly by. Then she went on to say where? Well, anywhere your heart desires. And when? The next 3 Fridays at 9:30 Eastern time. So the Friday just gone and 2 more. The why? Well, because December's chaotic, isn't it? But we still want to prioritize our health and wellness, and EMOMs are the perfect way to do that. They keep you motivated, she went on to say, and accountable during and show progress if you do the same EMOM again and again. The how? 2 minutes warm-up, 1 minute demo, 12-minute EMOM, and 2 minute stretch. Wow. That's going to keep you busy, I think, isn't it, Amanda?
Yes, Mark, there is definitely something for everybody, no question. And I love that how, both the Peloton platform offers you that, as well as the instructors that take on these challenges themselves. The most recent one announced by Ben Aldis was his own community challenge, which is going to be a climb series. He's basically encouraging members to take a on-demand ride from previously in the year of his climbs. And he would like it to be done over a 2-week period, giving folks the opportunity to start with a 10-minute climb and work their way up. So his suggestion is to do a 10-minute, 15-minute, 20-minute climb the first week, and then move on to do a 30-minute, 45-minute, and 60-minute climb the second week. So certainly a massive challenge, and I do have to admit, Mark, that I have taken that on. Never really done climb rides, was not something that I was brave enough to do until just recently.
They're tough.
I have gone ahead and started the climb challenge. So I have done my 10-minute and 15-minute classes. Wow. Today I will actually do my 20-minute, and I did want to share because Ben is just such a sweetheart. He's actually doing swarm rides with the community. So he's been suggesting specific rides that he would like to do, and he said that he will jump on with the community to do it with us.
Oh, brilliant!
So I was able to do the first one as a community ride. The second one I wasn't, and then the third one was Sunday, was today. And he was very sweet because I had reached out and said, the timing of your ride, of your swarm ride, is at the same time as the Ali Love Sundays with Love ride. And he was so lovely and responded back and goes, well, I guess we're just going to have to change that. So
it's a bit of a conflict, wasn't it?
It was. And I'm sure there might be other people that would have liked to have done the live Sundays with Love. So I'm excited to see how I progress. I think next week is going to be super challenging in moving on to those, that 30-minute, 45-minute, and 60-minute climb. So next week I'll have to go ahead and tell you guys, if I'm alive, I'll be able to tell you guys if I survived.
Amanda, we're going to be celebrating your 1,100th ride, aren't we? Soon, very soon.
I'm telling you, with all these rides, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. So tell us.
Well, in other news, Amanda, mark your calendar. Rebecca Kennedy has asked her Instagram followers what do they want to see from her content, and received so many responses asking for a fitness plan as we're leading up to the holidays. Rebecca replied by saying, I'm working on putting together a 12 days of strength program for my on-demand classes throughout the past year, starting on December the 12th. Who's interested in joining with me, she asked. So again, I know you've got too much going on, so you can't do any of that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to keep that one aside. Maybe, who knows? You know what? I'm telling you, I have 2 more weeks of work. 2 more weeks of work.
Yeah, true.
It's going to be Peloton morning, noon, and night.
Your whole life is going to be Peloton, isn't it, from there on?
I'm telling you. Well, you know what? It's funny, though, because the next news article is about the bar classes. And it looks like we will be getting more bar classes coming in March. And you know what, Mark? I have yet to try these. Something that I just didn't appeal to me, or not necessarily appeal to me, but just there's so much to do. It's like, what do you choose to do? But but I am looking forward to adding that into my routine in the next year. So the initial launch had only 10 classes, and those were taught by Ali Love and Hannah Corbin, and they were ranging from 5-minute classes to 30-minute classes. Shortly after the launch, Peloton created the Raise the Bar Flash Challenge that we spoke about, and that gave extra incentive for people to try them. However, with only 10 classes, people have either already tried them or are wanting more. So we're excited that Peloton have now confirmed this, and we can look forward to seeing more of these classes coming in March. We also saw, Mark, going off the classes and moving on to the merch, there was another absolutely fantastic merch drop this week. Oh my God, Mark. When Chris Lewis announced it, when he posted on Pelo Buddy, pelobuddy.com, that there was going to be another, my heart just sank. And I'm like, how is it possible that I could even remotely think of buying more stuff? But I have to tell you, Mark, the launch, the merch dropped on Thursday. And, it always hits you guys up in the UK and in Germany first. So you guys get to see what's available. And of course, with my resourcefulness, because I'm very resourceful when it comes to merchandise and the apparel that Peloton have to offer,
of course.
I went on, in the middle of the night and got to see what was going to be launched. So that came Thursday morning, and they actually were a little sneaky because they didn't quite launch it in the US at exactly 10 a.m. So there were about 5 of us that were busy messaging each other back and forth, hitting refresh to see when the merch was going to be dropped. But it did give us Americans, a nice chance to be able to see what was going to be launched. And it was a pretty decent amount of stuff. So there was a ton of stuff. And this time they named the theme. The theme for the apparel drop was Bring Your Spirit. Clearly being the holiday season, us all needing to have tons of spirit. That was the theme that they have launched the latest merchandise with Bring Your Spirit. So, Yep, a couple things were purchased. I still had a couple referral codes left. As I sneakily told everybody, I having used mine up way in the beginning of the year, I had to resort to my husband's.
Good old Mark.
A couple. I'm telling you, thank God for him.
Does he have any merchandise, Amanda, or not?
I'm embarrassed. Yes, they do. And I've bought the kids a couple things that I've bought, but I'm embarrassed to say that I should do it more often. And my son now has become, I'm really excited, but he has started using the tread, and he tried the bike, wasn't thrilled about it. Wasn't thrilled about the bike, but has been using the tread and loves it. He doesn't tend to watch the show, so I can say he's actually dropped about 20 pounds over the last few months.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Is loving the tread. So as a reward, I have been purchasing some of the apparel so that he can get to enjoy it as well. So I'm really proud of him.
Excellent. So, in other news, Amanda, the popular podcast, Ali on the Run, has had Tunde on as a guest. If you're a Peloton fan, you will know of Tunde, of course. She's the ultra-inspiring makeup artist turned cycling superstar, whose journey to podium fame has been filled with highs, lows, and twists, turns, and a whole lot of passion, as we know only Tunde can give. Persistence and manifestation. On the episode, Tunde shares that adventure, talking about everything from weight loss journey to what led her to the fitness world, to how she saw her future with Peloton play out during a flash vision one day. To how she eventually got the job at Peloton. She said in the interview that she said to Robin in her interview, if I get this job, Robin, part of my mission will be to tell people to dream and to dream big and to dream bigger and to dream often. Because of this could happen for me, a daughter of an immigrant parent girl who struggled with her weight all her life, who struggled with her confidence to be one of the faces of one of the largest companies in the world. Connected fitness platform, Peloton. If I can say that was my story, then anything can happen for any person at any time. I think that's brilliant, Amanda. And she's got an awesome story, hasn't she? From makeup artist to one of the most well-known fitness instructors in the world. Incredible.
Right. And as a Nigerian, as she says, a Nigerian, immigrant and having been presented with this, she's amazing. She is amazing. So good for her.
Absolutely. And Amanda, we have a couple of birthdays to announce on Pelo Buddy TV. The first is happy birthday to Jem Sherman. She said on her Facebook page this week that spending time with you is always special, from yacht rock to pre-game rides to mixtapes and to epic sing-alongs. It was also the lady we just discussed on the podcast birthday, Amanda, of Tunde. So it's a very happy birthday to Tunde too.
Yeah. So Jen actually went on to show on her social media they had decorated her locker over at the studio, which was kind of cool. I saw that they incorporated us, that they share that with the community, that we get to see all these fun things because, it just brings us closer to them and makes us, more excited about that. So, happy birthday, Jen. And I do love, community member John Pruitt, who's fantastic, definitely has an in with a lot of the instructors, and he did a compilation of different Jen rides. I guess he rides in the studio a lot, and I'm really excited to hopefully have him on the show soon. But John did an amazing compilation for Jen's birthday in putting together, it was about 4 minutes long actually, putting together some of the stuff, and she's hysterical. I mean, she was my first, I think I've said it before, she was the first instructor that I had started riding with back when when I originally got the bike. And I do get drawn back to her. Her latest series, her cover to cover, is wonderful, and I do love her sing-alongs, and her last call rides are fantastic. So I guess just because of my age, I've said that, I've said that before, us being, almost similar ages, definitely has drawn me to. So happy birthday, ladies. And Mark, lastly on the news for this week, we can't leave out that that CEO, John Foley, renamed the Quarantined Exercise King, was named one of Bloomberg's 50. The Bloomberg 50 is a look at people whose accomplishments merit recognition. Foley was featured in a quick, cool 1-minute video on Bloomberg talking about what 2021 will look like. I loved his quote, Mark, that he made, saying that if 2020 taught us one thing, it's that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And I just thought that was just such an amazing quote. He went on to say how he's excited about the COVID vaccine, which will in turn allow him to reopen the studios to members, getting his teams back together here in the States, London, Taiwan, and Plano. And Mark, this week marked a memory for me as I rode live with Ben in the London studio. And I have to say, listening to John saying about wanting everybody to get back into the studio and having the members, it was a highlight for me. There is no question that having the privilege, I know you've ridden in studio many times too in London. And I have to say, I feel so unbelievably fortunate that I've had both the opportunity to ride in New York, but especially in London, because I do.
Yeah, I so much want to do New York though, Amanda. So it's cross, isn't it?
I mean, we got it. Yeah, it's fantastic.
I want to do New York.
Different experience. But I loved hearing John say, because for me, that memory showing up on my social media this weekend and getting to ride live with Ben, brought a different perspective to him as a person, to Leanne. I've ridden with Sam, and it definitely gave me a different perspective to the instructors. So, for those of you folks watching that I know are just dying to get into the studio to ride, I cross our fingers that 2021 will, give everybody an opportunity, to be able to do that, and when we can start to all travel again, and get that exceptional privilege of being able to do that. So let's hope that happens soon.
Let's get to know another person behind the leaderboard name in Pelo Chats.
And now it's time for Pelo Chat. I am especially pleased this week to welcome Alex Quaas, Peloton community member and fertility doc, and a good friend that I get to share the leaderboard with, although never quite get to see him on there, as he's always way at the top and I'm way down on the bottom. Alex, are you there?
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Welcome, welcome. Wonderful to have you. I'm really excited to get you on the show this week and glad that you could stop making babies for just a minute so that you could come chat with us.
Exactly. Professionally making babies, we need to say for the viewers.
Exactly. Professionally making babies. So I really am thrilled to get you on. It's been amazing to have watched your journey over the last few months, and you'll tell us a little bit about that. But it's been so great to do that, and we thought it would be fun to get you on here. You come to us with so many different bits and pieces that you can share with us, and we were really excited to get you on. So welcome. So tell me, Alex, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Germany, and I grew up there in a city called Freiburg. And so let's just get the shout out of the way. Like, I'm a big fan of the SC Freiburg soccer team, football team. So that's, I forgot to bring the shirt. But actually, this is a hat that you can turn inside out, and then it has a different SC Freiburg. So now that shout out, so that's my hometown, Freiburg. That's where I grew up.
Yeah.
And then I actually did quite a bit of traveling and spent quite a bit of time in other countries, and ended up going to medical school in England, in Manchester, and then doing my residency in America in Boston, fellowship in Los Angeles, and now I'm based in San Diego. And so I've always been very passionate for exercising. I've always been, not only passionate for watching sports, like every type of sport, but also exercising and, doing sports myself. And so I've tried various things over the years. I've always tried to obviously, do some outdoors exercise mostly. And I've played team sports, field hockey, football, so soccer. Played street hockey on rollerblades and things like that. But I've always been a bit of an endurance athlete too. So I've done a lot of running. I've run 14 marathons and lots of half marathons. And so running was always sort of my go-to sort of endurance exercise. But, I sort of had an experience a bit like a lot of people during this time in COVID. I was in March, February, March. I realized that exercising was going to get a lot harder. I mean, running was still possible. So I got the Peloton and fell in love with it. And so now I've already done like 300 and change rides.
It's amazing. So how did you actually get who was it, somebody specific that had kind of hooked you onto Peloton, or how did you hear about the Peloton name?
Well, I think you were one of the people that inspired me, because I kept seeing you like posting about it, so you're clearly very passionate about it. But I'd also, it's something that was around and that people talked about. And I sort of normally try to not be somebody to sort of go with every trend. But this seemed to make a lot of sense. And there were so many people telling me about it. Actually, patients were telling me about it too. And now I'm telling patients about it, it seems like.
Isn't it crazy? You know what? I actually forgot that that was, it's been so long now, and we kind of just got into this community together. But it is, that really makes me feel good. I love, one of the things that I have loved about, about this is the ability that I've had to infuse my enthusiasm, with friends through social media, and gotten people onto the bandwagon. And I have to say, if there's one greatest accomplishment, other than hitting my 1,000th ride this past week, had to throw that in there.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It is the fact that I have really inspired so many folks to get on the bike, and while you and I have a mutual friend that we adore, that we just can't seem to convince to get a bike, I'm very glad that I got you on it. And it's just, it's an amazing community. And I think, really that kind of leads me into my next question for you is, having been new to the bike, and we obviously have our little fertility doc group, which has been fantastic. And we ride with fertility docs across the country, right? I mean, how many of us are in that group now?
I think more than 20. So it keeps getting bigger.
20, 30 folks that are in there. Of course, I have to remind them all the time that I'm not a physician. I just like to play one. But it is amazing how we get involved in community. And that's been something that's been so fantastic, and how we bring different folks into it and are there to support each other. But you got really involved in the Ben's Army, Ben Aldis's Ben's Army community. And tell me how, I was so surprised when I saw you, on their Facebook page and commenting and posting. So how did that kind of lead you there? I'm curious.
Well, I think that at the beginning, when I first got the bike, it seemed like everybody and their friend wanted to suggest instructors to me. So literally I got bombarded with recommendations. And I must say, and this is still the case, there's not one particular instructor that I think is way better than the rest. I think they're all fantastic. But I particularly like Ben. I mean, I lived in England before. I thought that, he's kind of this soft-spoken person that has a sort of interesting way to motivate you to essentially sweat your butt off and get your maximum output. And so I think, again, you told me about the Ben's Army group. You told me. And then I like the sense of community, but what I also loved, and some of our shared friends who are involved with the Ben's Army, what they do is put on rides together on Saturdays, like these swarm rides, or they had the Drop the Hammer series to increase your personal best and things like that. So I just like that, and they do things that are fun, but also some charity stuff that they've done over the last year. So I just like the community, and it's a good way to motivate. So one thing that I've always found difficult is to gain the motivation and the energy to keep working out, and to keep doing, keep getting on the bike, keep going out there running. And I find that the only way to do that is accountability. And so exercising in a group setting gives you accountability. And that's what I do. So my other passion is trail running. So, for example, with that, I connected with a group here in San Diego that does that, several times a week. And they basically will say, hey, tomorrow morning, 5 a.m., we're going into the canyon. And I need that because I wouldn't do it by myself. And the same thing happens with the Peloton. I do obviously go on the bike by myself sometimes, but I prefer to do it as a member of a group, and I prefer live rides. I feel like my output is almost twice as high in a live ride than in a recorded one.
100%. I mean, I have to say, and I've been saying it, certainly I was saying it now, again, having just made this massive milestone, I said to folks who in a million years would have thought that you really would get excited about exercise. We do it because we know it's good for us. We know that it keeps us healthy and fit and, etc. But the fact that I get excited about getting on the bike because I know I'm going to be on there with a group of folks, whether it's our group and cheering each other on and knowing that we're doing it together, or it's doing it with one of the, like Ben's Army or, Leanne's Yes to You crew, or even Ali Love. I love doing Ali's rides on a Sunday and knowing that there's a group of people that camaraderie that do push you. And you're 100% right. There's no question that if I'm on that leaderboard and I'm on my own, I'm not pushing myself nearly as hard than if I know that I've got somebody that I'm chasing or that I'm, there. And it makes it for a fun activity. It's not, I mean, you get off that bike and you're drenched and the endorphins are amazing, but the best part about it is that you've rallied around this community. And I think that is, such a valid point in what Peloton's done. And I think it's done that. It's just brought people together. And as you said, as a physician, the benefit. And if you can encourage folks to do it, whether it be for, mental health, as we've all struggled through, the last 9 months, with COVID and just, going about life in such a different way. The bike has given us that, it's given us that ability to, to understand the good behind it from a mental perspective as well as a health perspective. Yeah.
And then the other part of it is, of course, the practical aspect of it. So just to compare, like when I do my morning trail run, I get up at 4:30 and then we run from 5 to 7, and then I'm at work at 8. When I do Peloton instead, it's almost like sleeping in, because I get up at 6:30, like 2 hours later, and I can still do like almost 45 minutes on the Peloton and then still be at work at 8. So it's just a very efficient way of exercising.
Right. And I think too, as being a dad, and having your little ones, I mean, you have young ones at home. It's nice to know that you're kind of not running out. And that was something for me that I always felt guilty, before COVID, and I was going into an office, I felt guilty about the thought of going to gym after I'd been at work all day and I had one at home. You feel guilty. Whereas, when you're home, the kids can watch you. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they cheer you on and,
they come in all the time.
You. Yeah, and get excited. And so I think from that perspective, whether you're a dad or whether you're a mom and you work, it is nice to have, to have that ability to be there for your kids. And as you say, concise the time of exercise.
I think they more like roll their eyes though than being excited, because in the morning,
so do mine.
they hear this like huffing and puffing, because I wear the headphones and then all you hear from the room is the huffing and puffing, and they're like, oh, he's on the Peloton again.
Well, you're much more considerate than I am. I do not like to wear the headphones, and I get the, you're so selfish at 7 o'clock in the morning. You've got the music blaring. And I'm like, you know what? Get up and work out too, right? But you're right. It is funny because my kids, although slowly but surely, yours are still young. Mine are older. And I have to say, I've slowly but surely kind of motivated them enough to, my 17-year-old loves doing the boot camps. She'll do the cardio boot camps. She'll do, and that's something I don't know if you've gotten more involved in on the platform. There's so many other aspects of the platform.
Oh yeah,
it's not
the boot
just
camp. I love it.
The bike. Yeah. So I think it gives, it gives one a wide perspective. And for so many people, and I love talking about it on the chats, because I think for so many people, they're really unaware that there is this massive platform of exercise that you can do. And it's not just, focused on getting onto a bike and riding.
No, absolutely. And you can sort of make sure that you don't have complete like arm atrophy, like, that your arms become these little sort of, by doing some of their upper arm classes. And then
Absolutely.
I've also done several meditation classes also, although I will say that in 2 of the meditation classes, I think I fell asleep because they were so soothing. And so then I slept for 10 minutes next to the Peloton bike, and then was feeling a lot better. It was very refreshing.
Not more relaxed. Exactly. No, well, this has been amazing. And it's good. And I think the purpose of getting folks on, onto the show from the community is just to show everybody that you don't have to be, obviously you are an athlete and that's something that you've incorporated, using the Peloton, but, it's just really for everybody. I certainly am far from an athlete, and at 50, I am 51. I'm this fittest and strongest that I have ever been in my life. And I was never somebody that was, exceptional in any sport or it just wasn't my thing. But this is something that I found that, that path, and I was able to kind of go down it. So it's amazing. It's amazing to get folks in.
And I think that, the important thing to understand is, you're really just competing with yourself. So some people, like for example, my wife was hesitant. She didn't want other people to see like her output and things like that, or be like have the leaderboard. And I said, look, you don't necessarily have to win the thing. Like like when I used to run a marathon once in a while, when I got home from the marathon, that my kids would say, "Did you win?" I said, well, no, that's not how it works. There were 30,000 people.
Right.
The people, yeah. So,
but you know what? You've just made such a great point. I think that because I have had the same, folks, I have one of my best friends just got a bike, and she was like, don't tell anyone that I got the bike. And, I just want to go on there anonymous. And I said no one even has to know, but it is nice to be able to follow a leaderboard, to feel like there's a community. But you're absolutely right. We're doing it for ourselves. And while there are those folks that push us, I have absolutely, it's been a good lesson, I think, and it's a good lesson certainly, for your kids, but it's been a great lesson for me, who is very competitive. I am a very competitive person. But it's made me realize that it's okay. If I'm not getting that personal best, or if I'm not, beating somebody that I should be, it's okay. I'm still sweating. I'm still getting a great workout, and I'm part of a community. So I think
you get different things out of different workouts, because, obviously when you first get the bike, then it's so exciting because, almost every week you have a new personal best, and then you push you. But at some point, inevitably, there's going to be a little bit of a plateau, because, you can't just keep, getting better and better and better and better.
Right.
And then some days, even if I'm sort of, 100 behind my personal best on a 30-minute ride, I still sort of feel good about it if I achieve what I could get out of that ride for that day. So basically, it's sort of adjusting your goals. But I mean, of course I do. Like if there's a couple of people next to me and I see them for the whole ride, of course I want to beat them. But that's more of a sort of little motivation. Than,
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. No, I think that is such a valid point. Amazing. So, Alex, to end off, we're going to do what we do each week, which is our fun 60-second descent and recovery. I'll go ahead and fire away some questions to you. You'll give me your answers. Don't worry. There's no testing here. There's no Cliff Notes you need, no Google. It's just fun. But we're going to go ahead and see if you can answer these in 60 seconds. Are you ready?
All right. Sounds great.
Let's go. Bike or tread?
Bike.
Favorite instructor?
Ben.
High cadence or high resistance?
Definitely high resistance.
Early bird rider or night owl?
For sure, early bird.
Meditation or strength training?
Strength training, although I have done meditation, but I fell asleep a couple of times, but it was very relaxing.
So, yeah, you mentioned that. First class you ever taken?
I think it was Tunde's beginner ride.
And craziest leaderboard name you've ever seen?
Well, I don't know about the craziest, but one of the funniest leaderboard names I saw this morning, but it was funny to me mostly. So there was a person on the ride this morning, I think I'm going to write it down, that had this leaderboard name, and I didn't see the R at the end. So it seemed to me now I know that it's Chris rides and runs, but it looked a little bit like if you imagine the R not being there.
Chris rides his nuns.
Yeah. So at first I thought,
Only you would pick that up. Only you would pick that up. I mean, come on.
But Chris is a good guy. He just likes to ride his bike and run. That's all.
Exactly. I love it. That is hysterical. That is absolutely. But only you would pick that up. So the most important question I have for you is, I know that our viewers are going to want to know, what's your leaderboard name?
It is Fertility Doc 007. Oh, you've got it in there. I thought I'd write that down too.
In there. Tell us why. Tell us why, Alex.
Well, I'm a fertility specialist, but also in residency, people started telling me that I looked like James Bond or like Daniel Craig. And actually, it was funny because at one point in residency, I put a picture of him, as my Facebook profile picture. And so one of the nurses at Mass General, where I was working, was looking at it and was saying, on that picture, he really looks like James Bond. And so, because that was his actual picture, but so
that is hysterical. Oh my God, that is hysterical. Well, you do. I mean, come on. I mean, look at you, and on that leaderboard, you are like frigging James Bond. I mean, I've never seen anybody ride as hard as you ride. To see your outputs is I'm always in awe. I know that I'm never going to get anywhere near you on the leaderboard, but knowing that you're on there and riding alongside you is always so much fun. You've been an amazing part of my journey, certainly over the last 9 months. I've absolutely loved having you on there, and of course having you on the show today. So I really, really want to thank you. Thank you for coming on and for being.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, and thank you. It was so much fun talking to you, and it's so much fun riding with you all the time. And you're really an inspiration, and I think you're a big part of the reason why I'm actually on the Peloton bike now, almost every day.
Oh, Alex, thank you. Thank you for saying that. That means a lot. That really does. Well, again, cheers. Thanks for being on here, and looking forward to riding with you this weekend.
And thank you very much, and auf Wiedersehen, and happy holidays, everybody. And
there's his Freiburg hat.
Yeah, there you go.
I love it. I love it. All right, Alex. We'll see you soon. Take care.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely day. Happy holidays.
It's time to celebrate our fans' milestones with Pelo Shouts.
45. Chris M. Jill was 450 today. Kin Sweaty, 350. I like that. I want to make sure I say happy birthday and happy 100th class. Oh, Susanna, thank you for tuning in today.
But it's tough love.
Thank you for sharing your birthday with us.
And
Cobain, happy 850 today. Dominique Surrey, 600. Ed Ackers, my friend, 550. Jez, 76 UK, happy 450 today.
Great work, Lightwood. Happy 500 today. Raz 22 looking good.
Airglow 3, 1,000 sparkles, yes to you. Come on.
Did you hit a milestone this week and get a shout out by your favorite instructor? Don't forget to let us know.
Yeah, Mark, so it really was a jam-packed episode this week. I know that I had a ton of fun interviewing Alex Quaas, who is a good friend, and it was lovely to just get a perspective from a community member. So that was really cool for me.
Yeah, and for me, I think, loads of news, as you've already said, Amanda. But yeah, I think for me, the class stacking feature that's upcoming is going to be a real useful feature. So I'm looking forward to utilizing that going forward.
Yeah, me too. I definitely think that is, for me, the highlight, and it was certainly the highlight in the news this week, is having that as a new feature, because we are starting to do, more rides at one time. I think that's, that's how we get to our milestones. But I think it is such an important part of the journey, and it's nice to be able to have that as a feature. I'm really looking forward to that. Well, everybody, thank you so much again for taking the time to listen to us and to get to hear all the new things that are being offered by Peloton upcoming and what's just passed. Thanks so much, and hope everybody's getting ready for the holiday season. As we heard, the O'Rourkes have their tree up, and I'm sure many others are in similar festivity modes. So for everybody, have a fantastic upcoming week, and we'll see you all next week. Bye for now.
Have a great week, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your unofficial resource for everything Peloton. By the community, for the community. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button to never miss an episode.